As always, I start by adding a layer of gesso to my pieces. This is actually a mini verse table, and this is one of those Easter decorations I got on clear out at Michael's. So it's gold, and it would have been cute. I actually thought it was going to be a pretty tiny cage, and I decided to use it for other purposes. These are some eyeball beads I got from Michael's on sale, and I'm just adding them for storage to some Dollar Tree jars. When you use resin, you always want to coat what you're going to insert in resin so it doesn't create air bubbles. And these have holes, so you definitely want to add resin to your beads first. I'm adding some mica powder because I want it to look a little slimy. And now I'm going to add a few eyeballs at a time that are also coated in resin. So hopefully this will stop it from having some air bubbles. I also added some glow in the dark glitter, so these eyeballs should glow. Next, I'm going to make a little alchemy kit. So I want to start with mixing the same color powder. I'm going to mix a little bit into one jar, and then I'm going to mix a lot more mica powder to make a deeper color in another jar. In case you're wondering who's actually mixing it, we're taking turns. So if you see more than one pair of hands, Fred is also helping me mix and steal these. So we added a little coil that I bent out of bead and wire to make a little alchemy piece. Next, I'm going to use some neon paint to make some slime. And again, we're using some Dollar Tree bottles. I agree that miniatures are a lot of hard work, so I would never devalue an artist's pricing, but I just find that in this economy, it's a lot easier just to make my own pieces instead of buying them all the time. So I have some dollar store jars again, and I'm gonna add some beads to each jar. You don't have to use resin for this. I'm just adding beads to these to make it look like little ingredients. Even if you don't have resin, you can still make your own little ingredient jars. So these are some rose gold flakes, and they look pretty cool. These are some little crystals I got from the Dollar Tree a while ago. I don't know if they still make them, but I'm just gonna add these little Dollar Tree crystals to my little jars. So here's some little diamonds. I'm adding some rubies. And here's some amethyst. Here's some jade. This is actually glow-in-the-dark beads and sprinkles, so I'm just gonna go ahead and make a little jar that glows in the dark. This is holographic glitter. So once again, you don't have to add resin all the time, and this is just a vial of glitter. This is some holographic black glitter, which again, we just want it to make it look like some ingredients or powder that the experimenter might use. I'm adding some mica powder to the cups I've already used, and I try to coordinate the colors. Since this one had sparkly red, I'm adding red mica powder, and this is black, so I added some black mica powder. I'm adding some different color changing mica powders also. So I'm adding this little weird color changing slime to this one. And now we're gonna make some morbid looking liquids to add to our little science collection. This one I'm letting the liquids run over the edge like it spilled a little bit. And we'll let it harden that way so it'll have some droplets running around the side. This is actually, I think it's called Galaxy mica powder, and it's beautiful. It has different shades of burgundy and purple and black. And then the final one is just a little silver and black. We're gonna add that to our jar also. Once again, like I always say, when you're using resin, please protect yourself with gloves and a mask to make sure that your health comes first and you take care of yourself. Now we're doing another ominous looking container, but you'll notice I'm just turning it on its side so I can have something look like it spilled out. So I'm gonna harden it as soon as I finish pouring so it retains its shape. Now this is my little Labubu packaging, but I'm adding like a little glitter, and don't worry, I always reuse my glitter. So in this case, I'm just making a new mixture. I usually put them in a little Ziploc bag. Once I plan out where I want the jars to go, I'm adding some glue dots and I'm securing the little bottles on these little shelves. The painting is a little rough, but it was okay because I wanted it to be rough. I kind of like the rugged look. I'm adding some empty jars just to give it a little bit more character. And I'm adding some little books because the mad scientist needs to study. Now I'm setting up this little altar or table. I got this ghost, it's a shadow vessel from Etsy. Now I'm gonna go ahead and prepare the room box itself. I'm using, again, a handbag container, and I'm applying some Dollar Tree wallpaper. It's a little bit harder to work with than typical dollhouse paper because it comes from a dollar store, but just take your time and be careful. And I'm actually using a tool and then popping any of the bubbles that come up with an X-Acto knife. I enjoy getting these little wallpapers from the Dollar Tree, not just because it's a nice value purchase, but also I do like the fact that they have more textures than what the craft store offers in my area. So now we're just assembling the little handbag container, or aka our room box. And I always do 2 walls, so it leaves 2 walls visible for you to look into. Now I'm just gonna apply some glue dots and glue my little furniture into place so it doesn't shuffle around when I move the box around. I'm adding the little table. I'm adding a portrait of the ghost. We have all of our little shelves. I added some specimens from the Miniverse, and I have the cursed portrait. I have a cage for a future resident. There's a little bat in there. Here's a mask my husband painted. Here's my Labubu / Zimbobo. And now I'm going to apply a light so that I can see into the room box. So these lights are pretty cost effective. I got 3 in one pack. And now our room box is complete, and this is the final product. See you next time. Please like and subscribe.